Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Retro and Rare podcast episode for a magnificent Monday. Now, Doyle, that was your suggestion, Magnificent Monday. Is there a reason why you chose Magnificent?
It's Ricky Ross.
So Rick Ross, because that's a Rick Ross song.
Yeah.
I feel incredible, right? That's the Rick Ross. Okay. I still love the Comfortable freestyle by Rick Ross. I step aboard, Louis shoes checkerboard. Tom Ford make a broad one checkerboard. $250,000 for the chain, you would never know it. Not $250,000 for this chain, and you would never know it. But anyway, I do appreciate that freestyle from Rick Ross. That was 10 years ago, and he's not one of my favorite artists, but I do appreciate his style. So anyway, if you chose that because you're a Miami native, maybe that's why you chose the Magnificent Monday. I'll let it slide. Solid. You did still show up late.
What?
Today was a little less. It was about half an hour late, but
not bad.
it's okay. We do like doing the night shows. The night shows seem to be, the vibe is better. I got a little bit of feedback from friends and family. You know what's funny is, I was talking to my cousin Keith. Shout out my cousin Keith. He's like one of my best friends ever in life. We grew up together. He's a couple years older than me. And, every once in a while it's good to just call family members you haven't talked to in a while, especially ones you're close with. I feel like, everyone's life is different. I get it. People have different relationships with their family. But every once in a while, I like to call Keith, see what he's doing. And, he's a successful business owner himself. And we have great conversations. He gives me relationship advice. We talk about finance. And, last night was a good conversation with him. But the most important thing that we talked about last night was my mother, who, when we grew up, my whole family, we used to take trips to Florida. I think I spoke about this on the podcast before. We used to take these dope-ass trips from Long Island to Orlando in the giant, big green 1993 GMC conversion van. Now, conversion vans back in the day were all the rage. Those are those vans that were decked out with the wood grain and the plush velour seats and the fucking CRT TV with the VCR and the inlaid lighting. This was like the illest shit ever. He wants to buy one, like to use it for like he loves to travel. So like him and his girl might do a weekend somewhere and they'll take like a road trip and do that. And he's like, dude, I'll just we could just post up in the van. And we had like great memories just going back and forth. It was just a good conversation.
There's people that do van life.
I know. And there are people that are ultra successful, like millionaires that they don't have a big ass house. They just live in an ultra luxurious van. And I'll be honest, there's a part of that seems romantic to me that I would want to do that. Because I could definitely see myself, first of all, some of those vans you could easily live inside. So if you take away the stigma of like, yo, you live in a van and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but I got like $1 million plus in the bank and I don't pay a mortgage or taxes and I just have this dope ass van. I just pay insurance and gas and maintenance. I get to go anywhere I want every day, do what I want. It is pretty dope, And then you have like people like Tom Green who does it, but he's more outdoorsman with it. He goes into the middle of nowhere with his dog and they kind of set up shop and he does weird Tom Green things, which is fine. But he was talking about, but the thing is even the prices of the conversion vans now, to find one in good condition from back in the day, like anywhere from late 80s to like the late 90s, they're fucking pricey. They're more pricey than you think they would be, but they're in high demand. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still luxurious as fuck. And if you find one with the interior still minty and shit, so yeah. Long way to say we had a great conversation and we ended up talking about the conversion van. We just have great memories in just watching old school movies, playing old school games, long road trips. Because I told him he's buying an investment property, him and his buddies in Arizona, and they're going to rent it out Airbnb. It's like this fucking luxurious place. He was asking for advice on arcade 1-ups because they have a game room and all this shit. And I was like, bro, I'll take a road trip out there. He's like, are you crazy? That's going to take like 16 hours, whatever the drive is to like Arizona from Florida or whatever it was. I'm like, bro, one of the reasons I got my car is because that thing feels like I'm in a fucking spaceship capsule when I'm in that bitch. I feel like I could drive that thing for 20 hours straight with no problem. He was like, I don't know, bro, this and that. I'm like, it started to get me thinking. I'm like, bro, you think we could do a road trip? I'm like, I wouldn't do it by myself. I would possibly do it with you. If not you, the girlfriend would come along, right? I don't know about sitting in a car with you for 16 hours. I don't know about sitting in a car with her for 16 hours.
Take you as one?
I guess so. I mean, we could have some good times. I mean, I like road trips. And also, this is what we talked about. And maybe you'd be down. I'll ask you live on the air. Check. What do you think about this idea? I'm about to embark on a whole new world of content. That was another thing about the conversation I had with him last night. First of all, it's funny to think, I forget sometimes, like, we don't have Joe Rogan numbers on the podcast, but people watch this podcast and listen to the podcast. And sometimes I forget family and friends and random people that I kind of associate with watch the show. Because he was bringing up shit. He was like, yeah, I was listening to the show and da-da-da-da. He was talking. I'm like, oh, you watched the show, bro? I didn't even. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I watched the show. I'm like, what? But he was saying you should, like, take a road trip and from here to X where you're going, bro, stop at mad vintage places, thrift stores, vlog the whole thing, record it, edit it, make it a whole, like, you can make it a whole production. And then on top of it, it's a road trip and all this other shit. I'm like, damn, that's good content. That would be a dope idea to, like, because I really want to get some more content going. And we've been talking about it. We did the condo tour, part 1. We're going to do part 2 soon with the night shit once I set up a couple more things in the game room. And I don't know, Doyle, what do you think? Take some time off of work. We'll do like a 4 or 5 day trip and we'll go to like a random spot. I've been talking about going in the desert for a long time. Even my shirt, I got the little desert motif. I think I just want to get in touch with the desert side of me, man. I don't know if it's a Native American thing. I don't know what it is. I just want to kind of go out there and...
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Little Natural Born Killers. Eat some peyote. And maybe what you've been wanting to do, Doyle, which is you heard from Mike Tyson, which is lick the toad. The little toad that's got DMT in it where you lick it and then you see the little David the Gnome figures and life changes for you. I'll be honest, I would pay a lot of money to see you on DMT or some other kind of psychedelic. I don't know how you would react. I might want to keep you in a cage for a while because God knows what's in your fucking brain. But anyway, shout out my cousin Keith and shout out to the other random people in my family or friends that I forgot that you guys listen to this ridiculousness. I do appreciate it. And I hope to have a conversation with you guys soon about it.
Ridiculous? Like Rob Dyrdek?
What about Rob Dyrdek?
Well, you said it. Ridiculous.
Oh, the ridiculousness of the show. By the way, my video, the Pussy Wagon video, is, I think, in October going to be on an episode of Ridiculousness. Like, I've been talking to the producers. I had to sign over paperwork of the rights of the video and all this other shit.
I never signed shit.
Well, did you film the video? I don't recall. Were you there that day with me? I believe it was just me in my car.
Well, I was the one who told you to ride in the bins.
Doyle.
You never give me one credit for anything.
You're trying to take credit for a video that I filmed like in April by myself on a random day that I was just going to a thrift store and some old lady opened up her window and said some outrageous shit to me?
I'm the one who told you to
that
go
car
thrift
ain't
shopping.
nothing but a pussy wagon and you go after it. That lady was I'm so upset to this day that I did not get that woman's information. I should have said, ma'am, I need you and your husband's name and I need to know like everything about you because you're the coolest person I ever met in my life. And I'm like, and I like your car too. Remember, I was like, I like your car. I'm not going to say the same thing, but I like your car. She's like, well, this is a good old lady car. She was so cute, man. Damn it, bro.
She probably lived in the Vita.
No, just think about the life that lady lived. Like in 1972, that lady was getting it. She was going in. I'm sure she was at Studio 54 doing lines of blow, taking shots of whiskey, just ruling the world. So shout out to you, man. And it would be, it's going to be so dope to see like Rob Dyrdek like react to that video and whoever other celebrity they have. Like just the dynamic of that's going to be cool. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know. I'll probably record it and shit and we'll put it up. It is what it is. It's just a cool thing. So anyway, what's the weather report tonight though? We got something? It was kind of nice out. It was kind of like breezy.
Well, it's the beginning of fall.
I know, which I love. But anyway, what's the official weather report?
77. Real feel 75. So
Nice.
I'm telling you, no humidity.
You know what that is, right? I stepped out outside last night. My nightly routine now. I have a nice cigar outside.
Tonight, 69.
That's what I'm saying. I went outside last night, late night. Not super late night, 11, 12 o'clock. Had a cigar on the balcony, bro. And it was like, first time I felt like a little bit of like a brisk, cool air. And like no humidity. Just, I'm like, this is what I need. Never mind, I'm waiting for crew neck season because I got the illest lineup of crew necks ever. I'm going to hit the streets with. I'm going to hit it hard.
Cashmere's?
I don't know if I have cashmere. Why do you say it plural? Where did that come from with you? Where everything is plural, like cashmere's, like S with the S on the end.
It could be plural as long as you have more sweaters.
I have a lot of sweaters. Yes, I do have sweaters. Okay, so anyway, is there anything you'd like to tell the people before we officially start the show?
And we have magnetic solar flares.
Oh, we could have made it a magnetic Monday. I was thinking of doing Magneto Monday. That's because, as my girlfriend likes to say, I am a warlock and I do have a mind thing.
You have Magneto right there, right?
Where? Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, that's shredded?
Oh, we could talk about the trinkets. Look at Shredder. What do you think about Shredder? Now, immediately put Shredder up on the top. You know we've had a problem with things falling off the top, right? When I put them up, I came in yesterday morning. Shredder's on the floor, laid out. I'm like, if that thing broke already, I just bought it. One of his little shoulder blades came out, which is great because it popped right back in. I immediately took them off. We have to do a reassessment up there. There's something going on. There's some fucking voodoo magic, man.
Oh, it's because the building sways back and forth.
Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that.
Architecture integrity.
See, okay, and you did go to school for 5 years to become an architect, although you've done nothing with your degree. I still would kind of lean towards taking your advice on that. Now, are you telling me that is true? 14 floors up, that can happen? I'm thinking of like 80 floors up. I understand that.
Well, it does it even more, though. You can start feeling it there.
Okay, so but you think that could be a thing? There's enough movement to knock a 14-inch figure off a. But why did just that one fall? You know, none of the other ones which have fell in the past, they didn't move again. I still have that little silly putty shit I could easily just put on the bottom and fix the problem. What do? Procrastination sweeping the nation. I just leave it alone and let it rock. But I do like Shredder. I mean, really kind of a compulsive Carl purchase at the local comic book store. What I like is they don't ever put any of their shit above retail price. So if they do have some NECA stuff, it was like $119.99. It wasn't, trying to get 200 plus out of them. Now, I think that's about what they go for anyway. It's not like I got a screaming deal, but once again, better me. So I always say that NECA for the money is the best figure you can buy. For $120, that big of a figure with that level of detail is pretty good. You want to go nuts and spend $600-700, maybe get a Hot Toys, which are smaller but more detailed. That's okay. This, I think, is... What do you think, Doyle?
Yeah, they always make good stuff.
I mean, I think it looks... the cape? The cape is extravagant, bro. The cape is like the material and like the way that it folds out. Like it looks dope. I love it.
The scale, too, is good.
Yeah, exactly. And the scale is perfect with Donnie. Donnie's shorter than him. It works really well. So, and then we just put Venom up here. I've had Venom on the middle of my little table for my kitchen forever. Not forever, for the last couple weeks because I redid the setup in the corner with the Xbox and the TV, which now I found out, you know what I do every night now? I just put on a movie. Instead of a game on that TV, on the PlayStation TV, like last night I was put on the Avengers or whatever. Oh. Just to leave it on. You know me, I need multiple screens on all the time, constant stimulation. It's just my steez. It's just what I do. So anyway, yeah, we were light on the trinkets this week. We didn't go too crazy, just a couple. I was going to do Hat of the Day on Bones Malone, which was suggested by a viewer, because I did pick up a really nice Los Angeles Raiders sports specialties vintage hat for $1, which you have no idea. I was excited to show you, and you said, it just looks like a normal hat.
You want me to pan to it?
Don't touch the camera. Don't do anything. Sit there. I'm getting ready for you to read topic suggestions in a moment. So let's get that going. But you did bring over, we could show, I guess, if you want to, a really nice Star Fox shirt. That one is, it's nice. And you picked it up for like $60, you said, which is a great deal. It's Nintendo on the front. It's got the Super FX logo on the back with some graphics. I like it. I'll put it up on the Instagram. We'll show them on the Instagram. I'll do a little video. Maybe I'll play the new West Side Gun as background music because people love. They only play West Side Gun. Even my girlfriend knows that I love West Side Gun. She puts it on in her store sometimes when I'm there. She's like, yeah, Alexa, play West Side Gun. And then, hey, yo, it just comes on. She's like, this music sounds like you. I'm like, it does. It does. I figure it's good for her customer base. They like it. But the new West Side Gun, so Hitler Wears Hermes 8 came out, and then there was side A, but the side B just came out. Bro, phenomenal. I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, it just... I know that I always talk about him, and I talk about Griselda a lot, so I'm trying not to fanboy out too much, but yo.
But they're trying to switch their styles, right?
No, they didn't switch. No, this shit is, bro, the fucking production value is so good. And just the way that they put words together, and then it's like, West Side Gun is like he's not the greatest rapper ever, but he's the head of the operation, and like the shit that he says, you just feel it so much. And then, you know, someone like Benny the Butcher comes on. Benny is just so lyrically talented and is able to convey a message in a certain way that's just, it hits you in a different way. That's what most people that listen to Benny or even Conway in certain ways, they'll say, yeah, just what the way he says shit is just because it's authentic. You can tell it's authentic. So it's dope. Hitler Wears Hermes 8, which is a long ongoing series for him. He's on the 8th one of it. Like, he was supposed to retire. West Side Gun was supposed to retire like last year, but decided fuck it. So anyway, I support Griselda. I've been on the wave for basically since the beginning of it, and it's dope. We did get some topic suggestions from the people. And I don't know. You got them up there? You want to jump into them? Unless you have other words of wisdom for the people out there. But give me a topic then.
All right, so we got Loop 94. Favorite Halloween memories is coming up.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Halloween is coming up. Now, Doyle, you know, there's been a couple of times throughout the years I've known you where you've randomly shown up to my house in a Halloween costume. But it's normally not great. And it's normally like, remember you showed up to my house and you were like a cop? Remember you were wearing like, you just had like a NYPD hat and like a
bulletproof vest?
Yeah, like I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you look like a cop, like you just look like you're just like an undercover cop. It doesn't look like Halloween. I think you had a flashlight. Now, the last time I dressed up for Halloween was when I left New York, which was like 2009. It was a long time ago. And I dressed up as Fire Marshal Bill. Howdy, folks. Of course I did. I had the right jacket. I had the fire marshal hat. I burned the gloves on the stoves, old school stove, because that's what Jim Carrey did. Fire Marshal Bill from Jim Carrey in Living Color, which is pretty much my favorite sketch character of all time. I went full on. I did the lip thing. I put my lip up. I was spot on. But that was the last time I dressed up for Halloween. Now, back in the day, I used to love Halloween. So just like all the normal, like younger kids, you know, from 6 to 10 years old, I was Dracula, Ninja Turtles, all type of shit. I was Dracula a lot. There's a lot of pictures of me with like gel slick back hair with the blood running down my thing with the teeth. And then the white with the cape on, with the red inlay on the cape. That was my steez. Remember back in the day, a lot of the costumes were just like those cheap plastic masks, like the turtle ones. They were like kind of fucked up looking. They just had the one string behind it. I used to love that shit. You know, my father was kind of creative to kind of hook me up. But then I got a little older, and then it became, then the shaving cream phase came in. I don't know if in Miami or whatever you guys did the shaving cream when you went out with your boys. As you started to get to like 12 to 15 years old, yo, I'm too cool to go knock door to door for candy. I just want to go out and spray my friends with shaving cream and throw eggs. We used to do the egg thing, you know, and Long Island got a little crazy. And then it started to get into like neighborhood wars. We get into fist fights, and it was like stupid shit. Then it got violent. Then it got putting like, we used to put like eggs in the freezer and then put them in a sock and then hit like we were just getting stupid. But the shaving
cream, toilet paper thing is cool.
Yeah, it's a little. But the shaving cream, the cool thing about the shaving cream was, it became a thing about who can make their can of shaving cream squirt the longest. So, you know, if you have shaving cream, you just do it. It comes out like in your hand, right? Well, if you put a needle in the shaving cream in the hole and you light it on fire and the plastic around it melt, you pull the needle out. Now there's just a pinhole creating pressure, and I can hit you from here with my shaving cream. Like 10 feet. That was like, if you were cool, your shit was going ham, right? So yeah, we did that for a while, and then we did the egg thing. The problem with the egg thing is the eggs would hit cars, and the eggs hitting cars fucks up the paint. Because if the shells and everything stick on the car and then it dries, it could really fuck up paint. So Halloween got really crazy for me. It went from really innocent, door to door, getting a lot of candy, which is cool, to being a night of mayhem and mischief, okay? So eventually got out of that, and then I just started getting drunk and high with my friends once I got like 17 to 20 and then 21, and going to the parties and all the chicks are wearing next. It's just another excuse. Yo, I got to be honest. Halloween is an excuse for women to dress like hoes.
Kitty cat castles and shit.
What was that, Doyle? Kitty cat castle? What was that? You have to elaborate on that. What does that mean? Is that
That
a
was one of
place
the Halloween parties.
that you went to?
Yeah.
It was called Kitty Cat Castle. Is there anything you'd like to tell me that happened at Kitty Cat Castle?
Well, it stays in Las Vegas, though.
Oh, okay, so you went to Vegas and went to a place called Kitty Cat Castle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that there.
On Halloween.
On Halloween, and when you were dressed like a cop. What did you dress as that night?
I don't know.
You dress like a pimp. You wear like the pimp. You know what I mean? You get the fucking
I
coat.
think it was Alan Grant.
Alan Grant, Dr. Alan Grant.
Yeah. From Jurassic Park.
Chicks like doctors. I'll tell you that. Just so they can call you doctor. So Kitty Cat Castle, I may have to check it out. I have no idea. I've never heard of that before. I'm gonna Google that. But yeah, women definitely dress like hoes on Halloween, and it's like an excuse, and they take pride in it. And I guess I'm okay with it. I'm not trying to say that I'm not okay with it. I just
When's Halloween? It's one night.
right, yeah. Well, a lot of things can happen in a night. Lives can get ruined in one night for sure. I will not be participating in anything to do with that.
But this is your first Halloween in downtown Orlando.
And I'm gonna stay my ass in my apartment. I honestly listen. I'm going on.
It's gonna be
I'm
ham.
going on 37 years old. There's plenty of parties that happen every night within 100 feet of where I live. If I leave my building and make a right, and I live in the epicenter of the bars in downtown, it is complete shit show, crazy. It looks like Mardi Gras every night of the week. Those are 18 to 25, maybe 30-year-olds. I don't need to be 37 going on 40 doing that. I don't even drink like that no more. I'm good, bro. I passed that stage. I've been there. I've done that. I will say, if I was like 20-something and I was living downtown Orlando the way I am now, different. It would be, yeah, level 50. But it's not. And I'm a little more conservative with my shit. A little more of a homebody. I've set up the home for it quite nicely, and I enjoy it. Other than that, I'm not really home that much. Like, I spend all my days out and shit. But, oh, that's another thing. Speaking of which, I called the boys the other night because I'm like, the one thing I feel like I'm doing with this place, this beautiful fucking space that I'm in, is I'm underutilizing it. Like, I want to share this with more people. Like, I have, Ryan and Duncan, a couple friends will come over every once in a while. They come in, they go out. I'm like, I call Ryan. I'm like, bro, we're having a party at my house. Like, what am I doing? But I know, but like, what am I doing? So this upcoming Friday, I know if you're working, you probably close on Fridays.
Halloween party?
But that's October 31st.
Oh.
But I'm talking about this fucking Friday, bro. So when you get out of work, you can just come over. Like, I told Ryan, I'm like, tell everyone and tell Duncan, tell your girl, tell his girl, like, just let's have a fucking old school party like we used to have at my house. Remember back in just a couple years ago, we would have all kind of parties at my house.
But we don't drink anymore.
Well, we can have. Listen, I've been having a couple glasses of wine lately, and it's been nice. Yeah, but Doyle, I'm not a recovering alcoholic that used to beat his wife, and I had all these bad problems. I made a decision based on my diet and where my life was at that I shouldn't drink anymore. Since then, I've had a drink, but the difference is I'm not pounding 12 IPAs a night, then eating a pizza and going to sleep. That was an issue, and because I'm a creature of habit. That was my habit. I'm out of that. I go to a nice place. I have a glass of wine. I'm not gonna lie. I bought those little seltzer things. I've had a couple of little, like those, what are they called? The White Claw. It's like a bitch drink, bro. It's 100 calories, no sugar.
What about Four Locos?
No. Yo, remember we were drinking that shit? See, Doyle, that's what I'm talking about. Now, that was a long time ago. So we would drink, and this is when Four Loko was Four Loko. I think they tailed it down, right?
Yeah.
When we were drinking, and they came in like, 24-ounce cans, right? We would drink 2 or 3 of those each, and then we would remember the golf cart? In my old community, we would drive the golf cart fucking hammered. And then remember, we went into the swamp with it, and it went like past the front tires, like it ate it alive. And I made you get out with your brand new Air Force Ones. Remember that? That happened. We were hammered. I don't know if we should be advocating drinking and driving. This is a golf cart, 15, 20 miles an hour. I guess you could still get hurt. And then we used to go hunting for animals. We used to bring Gigantor with us. Remember we saw that National Geographic scene that one night?
He raced a deer.
Yeah, he tried to race a deer on foot. And first of all, we could have been killed because deers are erratic and they randomly go in different directions. But Four Loko was really bad. Like, that shit actually fucked you up, and it was like not good. I don't ever want to be anywhere near drunk like that anymore, ever. I don't get drunk anymore. I if anything, I go to my nice little restaurants. I have a glass of wine, maybe 2. That's the max. There's no more
White boy wasted.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm over that. I don't desire to be. I like smoking. I smoke, and that's it. I'm good. I don't have a desire to do anything else, bro. If anything, alcohol now just makes me really tired. I don't get like the hype. I'm excited, and I just kind of get like, especially if I'm drinking a nice glass of Merlot with a steak dinner, it just kind of brings me down. By the way, Pokemon Go, I see it. You don't even attempt to hide it anymore. You got the screen brightness all the way up. You're fucking catching a Venusaur or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Everything's good.
Yeah, I know.
We got rings.
Okay, so damn, this is a long topic. We were talking about Halloween. Halloween overall is some really great memories. Generic candy stories of getting candy. There was a couple weirdos in my neighborhood that used to give us apples, and then there was a couple people that used to give us pennies. Then there was a couple of people that used to give full-size candy bars, like full-on, like king-size even. And then there are the people that leave the bowl outside, and you're supposed to do the honor system and take one. Taking like a 7-year-old honor system, like they're not going to take all the fucking Kit Kats. Like, come on, bro. You're just setting children up to fail. Not cool. All right, give me another topic, bro. That was a good one, though. I didn't even see that one in there.
You're not going to go trick-or-treating?
No. 37 years old. Yo, let me get some fucking... Like, what am I going to do? You guys got any weed?
All right, so we got Tony's Retro Collection.
Okay.
Do you see Xbox or PlayStation doing handhelds in the future?
I always said, I think Xbox, Microsoft, they really missed a huge opportunity in creating a handheld. I mean, Sony, obviously, with the PSP and the Vita were successful. I mean, the Vita was... You can debate. The PSP certainly was successful, but Microsoft could have came out with something dope. I think maybe they saw Sony and got scared off and like, damn, they're already so far in the game. By the time we develop ours, it's not going to be as good. I don't really know, but I think I always said that about Microsoft. I'm like, damn, if Xbox could have came out with something, because having that Microsoft computing, the whole, just that whole idea of like they run a computer company. It's not just like Sony is Sony and they make like, no, it's Microsoft, dude. Like they could definitely create a piece of hardware with great software to run in a really good way. Don't know why they didn't do it. I'm sure there's reasons for it, but I would have liked to have seen that. And as far as new stuff, I'll be honest, your beloved Switch has taken a lot of that market up where it's like people just look at Switch as their handheld, but the Switch is also a handheld that is a dock system where it works at home. Basura. I'm never going to change my opinion. Hey, Mike, what do you think of the Switch? Basura. That's it. I don't want to, it's never going to be like, yo, you know what, man, I kind of thought about it. I like it. It's antiquated technology, games I don't care, and it's not focused on performance.
The OLED comes out next week.
Yeah. Still not 4K resolution, still not be able to run really good games. They just basically made the screen brighter.
I might get it. It'll be my fourth one.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You have 4 Switches, bro. But whatever. Hey, you know what? I'm not one to throw stones. I have 4 of other dumb shit that people may not agree with, so whatever. I'm not going to, me personally, although people have been on a crusade, there are people out there to get me to switch my opinion on the Switch. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But yeah, I would like to see a new handheld. I know they have the one for the Steam, the big one that kind of looks like a Switch. It's just high performance. But specifically Xbox or Sony. I mean, dude, if Sony announced a new handheld, I know it would be dope. I just think that they don't see the business side of it working. It's just not work because the Vita was a fail generally. So
what about the phone though?
Nah, phone. I don't fuck with mobile games. I tried.
Put the controller.
It's not the same. It's not the same. You need a dedicated, physical, tangible controller. None of this touch shit and no extensions, and it doesn't work. At least not for me. I tried to get into some kind of mobile gaming. The closest I ever got was Final Fantasy Mobile, which was just kind of cool if you're stuck at an airport or something. And
Flappy Bird.
And what was and the Call of Duty Mobile, which was actually a good game. If you had a good phone, an Android high end or iPhone newer one, it ran beautifully, and the controls which were on the screen were actually really good. It's just that I got burned out on it, like I do a lot of FPS games. So,
what about the Sonic game? That was pretty good.
The newer one?
No, the one that you made me play on the iPad.
Oh yeah, but it's not hard to. Most of them are 2D and they kind of look 16-bit, so it's not hard for developers to kind of create that now. But once again, I can play that on my Genesis or my Nomad if I wanted to. I don't know. I'm not into mobile gaming. I'm not into phone gaming. It's not my thing. It's not my steez. I'd rather play a Game Boy Advance which you could play on your phone. I'd rather have the physical SP 101 play it. All right, next topic. I like that. That was cool, though. I didn't even see that topic in there. You're sneaking them in. I like it.
All right, so we got G. Parker, 43. Here we go. We got one topic for your girl, how to talk to girls.
That's what it says, how to talk to girls? Yeah. I don't know. Listen, don't ask me. My girl maintains that. My girl calls me a warlock, okay? So basically she's saying, I only like you so much because you've somehow found a way to put a spell on me. It's not because you got good game or blah, blah, blah.
Voodoo magic?
I'm assuming this is halfway of a joke on her end, which it is. But she consistently calls me a warlock. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have the best game. All right. The best advice I could ever give somebody if you're trying to talk to a girl is indifference. Indifference is key. You always, whether it's true or not, you have to act like you don't give a fuck.
No.
That indifference is key. And listen, I'm dropping gems today. Whether you want to pick them up or not is on you. But there's gems all over the place here. Indifference. Indifference means you don't care whether she fucks with you or not. That's the best advice, because then that way you're not, because listen, especially if she's some beautiful chick, you know how many dudes, we're fucking dogs, bro. We're terrible. You know how many dudes hit up these women? You're just one of a million. What makes you different? You know what makes you different? You didn't call her back. You didn't ask for her number. I never ask for girls' numbers. I give them my number and I go, you hit me up if you're interested. And that's it. Because that takes the temptation away from me if I have her number to text her right away. But guess what? If she hits you up, you know what's up. Indifference. You know what I mean, bro? I'm talking to this kid directly. What was his name? What was the kid's name that wanted to know?
G. Parker.
G. Parker, bro. I already like your name. You're a G. You're good. And you got the same last name as Tony Parker, who is married to... What's her name? What was Tony Parker's wife's name? Are they still together? She was beautiful.
What was that?
How do you not know Tony Parker's fucking wife, bro? She's one of those fucking beautiful actress women. I don't know if they're still married.
Megan Fox?
No, Megan Fox is whack. She was fine for a minute, then she fell off, and she's weird and too skinny, and I don't fuck with her.
Terry Hatcher? No.
Come on, bro. Type in Tony Parker's wife. I don't understand what's so fucking hard about this.
You got Alexa Francine?
No, man. No. Her name's like Eva
She's
something.
Persian.
I like Persian. I like Persian rugs.
Oh, Eva Mendes.
Eva Mendes. I'm sorry. How could I forget Eva Mendes? Is it Eva Mendes? I guess it was. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah, he gets all that because his name is G. Parker. So G. Parker, indifference is key. Act like you don't give a fuck, because all the other guys they give a fuck and they're beasting on women. Like, you got to just fall back, bro, and chill. So anyway, give me another topic, because I just dropped a lot of gems there for free. That should be on like our Patreon episode.
But don't make a hoe housewife, right?
Thank you, Doyle. No, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You could attempt to, but you're just going to get a glorified hoe at that point. You got to be careful. You still got to treat her right, though. If she's your girl, you got to treat her right. That is key. But thank you that was your gem of the night. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Thank you, Doyle.
All right, so we got the Toy Room JP.
Okay.
He might be Japanese.
No. I know him. He's no.
Cool.
JP is cool. He's cool people, for sure.
Have you seen the Wu-Tang show on Hulu?
Oh, well, you know what? It's time for Uncle Mikey to backpedal a little, because I'll be honest, that was a question I've gotten consistently for the last year or so, because the show's been out maybe 2 years, and they released it right around the time they released of Mikes and Men, the documentary, and I went around like, yo, documentary is sick, that fucking show, the show's stupid, it's not even realistic, they don't have the characters right, da-da-da. Well, when me and the girl, we got sick, you know, with the COVID, we did nothing but watch stuff, and then she knows I like Wu-Tang, and she put the show on, and I actually sat there. Now, I had watched the first like 2 episodes or so when it first came out, and it just didn't hit me right. I don't know if it's when I watched it or how I watched it. I just wasn't feeling it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I grew to really enjoy the show. I thought Dave East does a great job as Method Man. The dude that plays RZA is really good. You know, Raekwon. Like, and I started to see, like, because my Wu-Tang knowledge is, I would say, above average as compared to the normal fan. Like, I know some things and this and that, and I started to see, like, the little, like, oh, yeah, that is connected to that. Oh, that is that. And then I started to notice the details on the set with the fashion, the cars, the jewelry, like little things. Because I'm a detail guy. I'm like, yo, you know what? Yeah, bro. Like this show is kind of dope. And then the season ended, and I was like, damn, I kind of want a new one to come up. And then the new season dropped. And my girlfriend's like, I started watching, and then I noticed myself getting mad. Like, yo, no, we could watch it together. I wanted to watch it. Now you already watched like the 2 episodes. Like, so I came full circle on it. In the beginning, I wasn't into it, but I really have grown to fucking like it. And I really like the actors, and I really like where the story is. And at times it gets a little loose where it's like there's a lot going on, but overall it's actually a really good show. So I take back what I said about not liking the Hulu series. I actually really like it. It's dope. Have you watched it at all? I don't think so.
No.
You're too busy watching Pokemon.
It's all right.
No, well, you didn't watch it. You have to give it a fair shot. You can't say it's all right and then don't give it a fair shot.
Yeah, but ODB's in it?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously. He's part of the 9 members, bro. Yeah. He's the Osiris of this bitch. Okay? ODB.
Yeah, but he doesn't act like ODB in the show.
He does.
Oh,
Fucking yeah, he's wilding out. Bro, listen, bro, it's a good, you should check it out, honestly, because you're a fan of Wu too, bro. You would like it.
You get the Wu watch.
You smoked a blunt with Raekwon with me. I mean, every once in a while, I have to bring that up to let you know that really happened. We really, in my car, smoked a blunt with Raekwon. He imparted all kind of knowledge. Remember, it was like we were in the middle of a fucking skit. He was just talking. He was like, yo, how long I known you, God? I was like, yo, it's been a few years, bro. We known each other. Yeah, God. I mean, you looked out for the family. And that was intense. Remember, I lost one of the blunts. He's like, yo, you better find that blunt. Yo, that whole night was crazy. And then we went back to the fucking hotel, and then we sat in that like mafia Goodfellas section. It was just us in that nice place, and we ordered shit. And then he laughed because he got a Caesar salad, and I said, eating Caesar salad at Caesar's Palace. That was funny as fuck. And then he called you an idiot.
No, he called me a Wu disciple.
No, he called me a Wu disciple.
Oh.
No, he called you an idiot. No, he said, yo, that kid is fucking stupid. Yo, Raekwon, bro, that's a badge of honor. Raekwon called you stupid. But we hooked him up. Remember the boxing match? Remember when we went to the ale house because he's like, yo, there's a boxing match on tonight. I'm trying to watch that. Well, we were near a college campus, and it's 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday. We walk into this bar and this restaurant. It's overflowing with people. He tried to get me to act as if I'm his manager, so we got preferential treatment, and we got in and we got a table. And sorry, Mr. Raekwon, this is Gainesville, Florida. We don't know who the Wu-Tang Clan is. So you weren't getting a seat. But we allegedly got the illegal stream. We sat in the hotel at that nice restaurant on the laptop, got the fight. Everything was cool. It was dope. That's legendary shit that we did, bro. Sometimes I can't believe that we did that.
That was the University of Florida.
That was like on the campus or something. That was where all the coaches stay at that nice Hilton hotel. That was fucking nice. I remember, yo, that was a long time ago now, if you think about it. It was years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the hotel was so expensive, bro. But I remember, I called my mother of all people. I'm like, Ma, you think this is a good idea? I'm like, stay at this hotel. It was like $600 for the night. But it was like, because I think it was like, because it was such a short thing, like whatever. And she's like, when are you gonna get to hang out with the purple guy again? She always, God bless her soul, I miss her so much.
Purple guy.
My mother referred to Raekwon as the purple guy, and Raekwon knows that. That's what's cool. I've told Raekwon that, and he laughed about that. Yo, your mom's is cool people. Yeah. Shout out to Raekwon, man, the chef. He's a great person. He's a good friend, and I'm fucking super grateful that I know him in that capacity. And I did a great interview with him early on in the podcast. I may just repost the audio, but he's down to do another one. I just want to do it in studio. I want him to sit there. Like, I don't want to do a phone interview again. Like that.
Oh, yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be dope. So
Yeah, your mom's hooked you up with a lot of hip-hop shit, though.
the Wu-Tang controller. It's my number one thing in my collection, that if this place was on fire, and it's half because my mother bought it for me and it was a surprise. And like, how the fuck did she even know about that? I barely knew about it. Where did she get it from? Like the whole thing. And that was so long ago. We're talking 10 plus years ago. We're not just saying like, so yeah, of course, bro. Of course. But she was an incredible person. I miss her every day. So anyway, next topic.
All right, so we got Invalid Letter.
Okay.
Thoughts on indie rappers Circle, Slug, SB Rock, Sage Francis.
Thank God I read that suggestion so I know what you're saying. He was saying circa the year 2000s. He was talking about early A$AP Rock. Like, he was talking about early underground rappers from like the early 2000s when shit was different. Now you have a lot of underground rappers, but the internet has made it easier for those rappers to emerge as stars. You got Crime Apple, Griselda, West Side Gun, Willie the Kid. There's a lot of people that I listen to now that would have been really hard to get shine 20 years ago because the lack of exposure. You just had to do the mixtape circuit, printing mixtapes, physical CDs with the covers and the... But I gotta be honest, there's a couple of artists he named in there that I fucked with, but a lot of underground cats that I fucked with were people that nobody knew. It was people that were very, very local in Long Island and New York City that were just like didn't have a following, but some of them were real nice. And I was actually one of those people because I had my own little underground career where I would fucking, print my own mixtapes. And I remember, I would have 7 to 10 track mixtapes. I would cut I would print the labels, the covers. I design them myself and then use the big cutter, go to like Kinko's and cut it perfectly square to slide it into the CD insert. Like, I was on that shit. So, but it's amazing how different it is now, how easy it is now, especially with technology and microphones and stuff. I could just hit record on this shit, put a beat on freestyle and put it out to the world. Now, so can everyone else. So the market is flooded. So your reaction may not get there, but the quality shit will always rise to the top eventually. So, as far as like the artists that he mentioned on there, aside from a few, I wasn't really into them. It was just very obscure, abstract people.
I threw a mixtape into a Lambo.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, I was handing out mixtapes for my cousin, and there was a Lambo with the top down, and I threw it in there.
That's not a bad idea. In
Miami.
Back in the day, bro, you had to grind to get your tape heard. There's, people banging on record label doors or just trying to meet the record executives in the clubs and like, yo, just listen to this. I'm telling you. A lot of times that worked. That's how a lot of people got on. But you had to be persistent and consistent in your grind with that. So anyway, next topic. That was a short one, but I feel him.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. So we got JB Douglas chipping in again. We got digital versus physical copy. In this day and age, he's thinking about buying just physical copies.
Yeah, for the new shit.
Physical copies.
Oh, physical. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he buys digital, but he's thinking about buying
the new shit. I just go fucking digital. I bought like on my PS5, bro. I have 5 or 6 physical games, but I also have 5 or 6 digital because it's just convenient. I'm scrolling through the thing late at night. I'm like, I want a new game. You just go through, boom. I got 2K22. I got that Apollo Creed fucking boxing game. I don't know. I don't see the value like I see in the older games with the physical. Like, we've always said the newer games, they don't even come with the manual. So what do you go to the store? You pay $60, $70 for a new game. You just get a cover and a disc. I guess some of them, like how certain PS4 games, even PS3 games, they're printed in lower numbers. They become collectible eventually. I'm not looking that far ahead, I got to be honest. I wasn't looking that far ahead when I have all my old school shit either. It just happened to be they became very collectible and the prices went up and all that shit. But I don't know, man. The physical for the new shit doesn't do it for me because unless you buy a collector's edition, you're not really getting much. So I don't really see where the value is, like I said, unless it's a really low produced thing and then it becomes valuable because of that. So I just rather go digital for convenience. I think not eventually, it's already happening. The next 3 years or so, if that, things are just going to be completely digital, I think, unless it is a special collector's edition. And that will be part of the collector's edition, like a physical copy, But old school shit, I still prefer physical. I'm not really into ROMs and emulators for the old school shit. I'd rather take a cartridge, put it in, or a disc on a PS1 or a Saturn, put it in the system, OG controller. That's just the way I feel. But if I'm playing PS5, just download it, digital, done. Comprende? Simple.
That's it? Yeah, but what about if the game's not available digital anymore?
Well, that's true. But if you download it, like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, PS2, the Simpsons arcade game for PS3, those kind of things. If you have them and they're in your library, they'll always kind of be there. I know that we've talked about it. They could randomly just take it off. And I'm like, I guess that's the risk. If I paid the money for the game 6 years ago and it's just no longer available, I don't know what else to do. But then again, I don't know how it works. But isn't my PS3 and my account worth more money now if I were to sell it because I have those digitally downloaded games that are no longer available? For instance, Simpsons arcade game. I don't know how that would work. I guess I would have to sell my actual PSN account, right?
Yeah.
So the people on eBay that sell those, like, I guess they're selling their account with it. That's kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah, they're selling their email or whatever.
But people sell accounts for games all the time. I mean, people in CSGO, people, I'm sure Pokemon, I'm sure, like, if you have X amount of things built up, you could get $1,000 for your account.
Yeah.
I know that, I remember Duncan telling me once that someone paid like a couple grand for a knife on CSGO. Certain skin on a knife. It's just like, wow. I know, speaking of WoW, like World of Warcraft accounts, people pay thousands of dollars. Like, but in order to do that, you would have to spend thousands of hours building that account up. So it's not just like, random shit. But yeah.
You gonna buy the Simpsons arcade one up?
I love it, but the problem, my problem. It's always the same problem. The problem with NBA Jam is the problem with Turtles. I don't like the 4-player arcade one up. I've said it 100 times. If they're going to make a 4-player arcade one up, same thing with the X-Men, you got to make the physical cabinet size bigger to accommodate that. You can't just make that exact size shit and add 2 extra controllers on the side. It just doesn't cosmetically look right. It's awkward. And for 4 grown people to play at the same time, But then again, I understand their business model, because if they were to up the amount or the physical size of that thing, it would kind of negate the point of it, which is to be compact, small, and easy to put together. They start making the screen bigger, they start making the controllers bigger and the physical cabinet bigger. Now you're talking about increasing costs. Now you're talking about harder to set up, and it's also not space saving the way that these are. One of the great things about these is they don't take up a lot of space. They don't use that much electric. Obviously, comparing these to a legitimate arcade cabinet from the 80s and 90s, which are behemoths, weigh 9 million pounds. They use crazy electric. The parts can be expensive, hard to replace. These are simple. So I do like the idea, but man, I don't know. And listen, I don't work for Arcade 1-Up. I don't know what the solution is, but to me, it's just not a good look throwing out these 4-player ones. They look kind of sketchy. Now, if you were to compromise and make a Simpsons arcade with 2 players, it wouldn't work. What are you going to do? Put Bart and Homer? If you're doing X-Men, you're only going to do the 2-player, even though the X-Men one is technically supposed to be 6-player, the OG. But I did like what they've done with I think they call them legacy cabinets, where they're like, they have the actual like quarter slots in the front of them. Like they make a Street Fighter one, they make a Mortal Kombat one. There's a few that they make that are kind of cool. They're just variants of the same, games that are on here already. But who knows? Who knows what the other thing our Arcade 1-Up did that I wasn't a fan of, like the pinball machines or like the Big Buck Hunter, or like the Star Wars thing where it was like a car, or they're doing the Outrun. It's just, they got to be careful because this stuff is not the highest quality. And once you start stepping out of 2-player cabinets, you start getting sketchy. A little sketchy.
I mean, Outrun looks cool.
I love Outrun. Great game. Next topic.
All right, so there's a few topics about this. Instaneck. What kind of cigars are you looking into?
I did see that. I did see a lot of people reaching out about cigars. Now, I've been into cigars my whole life, basically. I grew up, 90s Long Island was just filled with these, these mafia dudes that were I was always exposed to people in cigars, and I always liked cigars. I always liked the vibe. I don't know. I've been to many, many cigar lounges. And I remember smoking cigars being like 17. Nobody else was. Everyone was smoking Newports and Marlboros, and I'm like out there with a cigar. I just always loved them. I always had a fondness for like fine tobacco. And as things progressed and I got a little older, I actually fell out of favor where I didn't smoke cigars for a while. And actually recently I got back into them. The cigar, Corona Cigar Company, which I mention often, is literally 500 feet from my building. It's one of the most beautiful cigar places I've ever been to. They have a great selection. And there's something therapeutic for me at night, before I go to bed or just late night, just chilling. Like, I go out on that balcony, I leave my phone inside, I fucking light up a nice cigar, and I pace back and forth on my balcony like a caged tiger, which is what I always do. And I just think, and I just look out at the city, and I just have a nice cigar, and it's calming, and it's beautiful, and I love it. For me, that's how I enjoy cigars. Now, I would go to a cigar lounge or something like that too. As far as my selection in cigars, I love Monte Cristo. I'm really into Punch. The brand Punch Diablo is something I've been smoking a lot of lately They're really good. They're like an $8 stick, so they're not super expensive. You know, cigars can get crazy. I mean, you could spend $200 on one cigar if you want to. You know, I try to find that happy medium. You know what I mean? Like, I've smoked $2 cigars, and they're like, nah. I've smoked $30 cigars and went, they're just as, the $8 cigar is just as good. So I try to find like a good happy medium on that, so you're not just like blowing big money. But Punch has been a brand that I've been really into lately. Punch Diablo.
The Ninja.
Ninja's another one that I really liked. And that's like a $5 cigar, so it's not bad. I haven't seen them down at that store. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. The other one would be, let's see. I said Monte Cristo. The Platinum series is what I really like. And then there's one, I forget the name, but they have, what caught my eye is like the aesthetics of it, because it had an Indian on it, and I'm really into Native American culture and all that stuff. So I'll have to find out the name of that. There's even brands of cigars that are, some cigars look kind of crazy. I'm just like, I generally like a darker cigar. And I use the cat's eye cut. Not a lot of people know about the cat's eye. When you think about cutting a cigar, you just think of the cigar cutter, flat, boom. The one that I do literally looks like what they call a cat's eye, which is like almost a keyhole. So it only if you were to hold a cigar straight up like this, it cuts a V. They also call it a V cut. Right here and right here. So it just cuts a V out of the center. It creates a better pull, in my opinion. But I love the way it tastes. I got into a thing where I wasn't even smoking the cigars for a while. I would just, what I call prep them. I would just swirl them around in my mouth as I'm just having a cup of coffee or whatever for a few hours, and I would not even smoke them, which is a waste. I realized I'm just kind of wasting it, because even if I put it back in my humidor, I go to smoke it the next day, all your saliva and shit just gets built up in the tip, and then it clogs the flow of it. The thing about a cigar is, the beauty is when you light a cigar and it's a good cigar and you get that perfect pull, it's something. There's something about a perfect pull. When you got to work too hard at it, it ruins the situation. So, but it's funny. There was a lot of people that reached out about cigars, which was really cool. And I think it's a cool hobby. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of a guy thing, right? I guess women smoke cigars too, but it's just kind of a dude thing. Everyone stand around, have a cigar. It's not something that I wake up in the morning and have one. If anything, I might have one a night, if that. Some nights I don't. But yeah, I'm excited that I'm right here at that cigar lounge, and it's easy access. And I met a couple of really cool people down there, and they kind of hooked me up and give me advice on certain new ones that are coming out, things like that. We've smoked many cigars. Remember in my old house, we used to smoke cigars in the game room, and we would literally bake out that entire room with cigars. And I thought it was a great idea until I realized, I'm just like, what are we doing? I have a beautiful pool in the backyard with a nice table and chair set. Why don't we just go outside and have a cigar? So, but yeah, you like cigars too. You've had plenty of them with me.
Yeah, they're nice.
When we used to get fucking hammered and have cigars while we were waiting for our food to come. Gluttonous fucks that we are. Anyway, is there any other topics in there?
Yeah, we got a good one here. JJ24, will there be a point in the video game aftermarket where it would be too expensive to collect?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're almost there. I mean, if you're paying $200-$300 for a fighting game on Dreamcast, I mean, depending on who you are, your financial status, and I mean, how far could you really go with that?
The internet going nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, in my opinion, there's got to be a height it reaches, and then just I don't think it's gonna fall off a cliff, but plateau. It's gonna get there, and it's just gonna kind of go this way, maybe a little dip. As you know, we were talking before the podcast. I am in the middle of setting up a Shopify website and doing some Instagram claim sales. I'm not liquidating the collection. I'm just trimming a good amount of fat off of games that I haven't. There are certain things that are in there. I just have too much shit. And it took me to move here. And I still have shit at my other house. Like, I just have too much shit. And I'd rather, I was talking to my cousin again last night. We were speaking about the business I want to start. Which, me, I want to start a physical location, vintage store, destination spot, really dope vibes, set it up how I set my shit up, take pride. It's my passion. I love setting things up, I just have a thing for, my girl owns a retail store, and I'm in there fucking going crazy, buying all this crazy shit and setting up stuff on her shelves. Like, I just have, and she's like, she told me, she goes, you kind of have a talent for like because I've never done that for anybody else. Like the way that I set shit up and the way that I kind of do stuff. And I kind of like, I've realized like I guess it's interior design of some sort. I would love to have a business in which I can do that for other people, but I would also love to have a physical store that I call my own. The problem is in the year 2021, 2022, post-COVID, post all this shit is it really smart to open up a physical store where people are so apt to buying things online? And that's where the pull is for me. And that's where my cousin was giving me advice like, yo, you know, he owns many physical stores of all types. But he was saying, dude, the overhead that you incur by having a physical store as opposed to the ease of someone just ordering something online, I know. But then I think about vintage stuff specifically. You want to touch it. You want to feel it. You want to see it.
Yeah, but look at Amazon.
Amazon is not, and they might be.
And Chewy.com.
But they're not selling specifically vintage 80s and 90s culture-based stuff. And when you walk into my store, it's like the smell, the music, the lighting, the TVs they're on, the games in the background, like all of that shit. It's like a destination spot. But what I realized is this. Why don't I set up a site, sell stuff, people know I'm selling stuff, get that going, put it, because I started my LLC and stuff a few months ago, run all this money through the business and see where it goes. And if it grows, and we also implement our own merch from the podcast and my page and stuff like that, and we kind of infuse that in there, as that continues to grow, at some point, if it makes sense to open a physical location, that's what I'm going to do. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do the online thing. And this goes back to the guy's question, which is the pricing of games and stuff. I'm going to try to be as fair as I can. I'm not trying to rape and pillage everybody on these games. It's just that at a certain point, the prices have gone up enough to justify letting it go, especially when they just sit there and they do nothing. There's nothing more that I despise as a collector is knowing that I have things that literally are just stacked and tucked away. And I'm not displaying them and I'm not playing them. It's just not what I want to do. I'd rather let other people enjoy it, and I'd rather use the capital that I get from that to build another business. You know what I mean? So it's good for everybody. You know what I mean? And having a decent following online helps. I mean, I put stuff on my Instagram page, and I've done it before. I mean, it sells in 5-10 minutes. I get DMs from 1 million people. Like, yeah, I'll take it. Whoever DMs me.
That's what I mean. So sometimes the price doesn't matter. Like, sometimes you just want to have the item.
100%.
You can't find it again.
And I've been there, especially when you're dealing with games and maybe some T-shirts or some figures. Like, yeah, like you don't see it for sale often, and sometimes you just want it. And I've been there, and I've paid collector prices for certain things. A lot of things I've gotten for the low, or a lot of things I've just had my entire life. But yeah, there are certain items that I was like, I just have to have that. Now, at the time I bought it, it was collector price. Now, since then, the prices have gone even higher. So if I was starting today, it's big money. It's big money. I want to, all those fighting games and all those horror games I have on Dreamcast, PS2, PS1. I don't know. I don't know if I'm dropping 300, 200 consistently on all these games. It's like I always say, I mean, I remember paying $40, $50 for a PS2 game going, I know I'm out of my fucking mind. This is ridiculous. Those games are worth $400 or $500 now, $300, $200. So investment-wise, it's great. I always said I'm a collector first, and I'm not stupid, though. I understand the investment aspect of it. But I think I'm at a point now with certain stuff. It's just I'm not playing them. And you know what? I get people all the time, every day, that might scroll down my fucking page and fucking go back a year, just find a random post of a game I put and go, yo, is this for sale? I mean, it happens to me every day. And I always say no, but I'm going to set up the Shopify site. We're going to take some high-res pictures. We get the nice lighting. I want to do it as professional as possible. Simple. All prices will be shipped, so there's no confusion unless you live in, Guatemala or something. There might be a little extra shipping on there. But, and what's funny is I don't have any apprehensions about it. It's not like, oh my God, like I'm broke and I got to get rid of the collection. And I'm sad about it. It's kind of like, certain things are just not for sale and they never will be. Most of my good shit, most of the shit that I've had since childhood, most of the shit that I'm ultra passionate, specifically in the fighting game world, the Carnage world, certain Marvel stuff. Like there's certain things I'm just like, nah, I gotta.
With tattoos?
What? Oh yeah, Punisher with tattoos. Like I'm not gonna sell that. I mean, unless you just want to be a complete asshole and just give me a stupid amount of money. Even then, I'm like, when am I going to... How in the world am I going to find a complete Punisher on Sega Genesis, crispy as fuck, with the tattoo sealed?
With the hang tab.
With the hang tab on the Capcom box. So those are things, you know what I mean? You know, but a lot of it'll be vintage clothing because I've gone ham the last fucking year and a half, 2 years, thrifting and I mean all that crazy shit. So it'll be a mixture of figures, games, and vintage clothing. And honestly, I mean, it'll be dope. I'll set up the site real nice, real clean, and I'll put up the link on my Instagram and we'll see what happens. I mean, I can literally run that business out of my fucking apartment. I can go downstairs and, you know, rent a storage locker. Like my cousin was telling me all this shit. He's like, bro, your place has storage in your building? I go, yeah. He goes, just rent this small storage thing out for the month, every month. Put all of your shipping supplies in there so your apartment isn't filled up with shipping supply stuff. And as orders come in, you leisurely go down there, you pack and ship your stuff. And it's like, I could ship my shit out of the front desk here. Like I literally have an all-encompassing, like I could literally make money that way. It's just another stream of revenue that's a good idea as of, you know, the fact that I've built up such a ridiculous collection. And it took me to move into this space to realize, okay, you got, I mean, there's like having a lot of shit and then there's what I have, which is like level 50. Still 6 months into living here, I still have 5 or 6 totes after unpacking shit for months.
Well, in the other place, we had multiple catacombs.
Right, and then it started spreading to the all over the house. It went into the office, then game room was completely fucked, and my bedroom started getting fucked, and the garage was completely fucked. It still is, of just random shit. Some of it really cool, you know, I say random shit, but there's some great stuff there. It's just... Steel Battalion in my garage for how long, you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff, bro. It's a lot of stuff. And I'll never stop collecting though. See, that's the problem with me. I'll never stop going out looking for stuff. Or at this point, so many people know me and know my phone number and how to reach me. And I get random phone calls about like, yo, I'm getting rid of this. Or my cousin's friend's dog's uncle's friend got rid of a bunch of GameCube games. Do you want them? I'm just going to throw them out. I mean, shit like that still happens to me. So I did see when I went to the game store in the Dead Mall today. I went to the Dead Mall. I do that on Mondays before the podcast, kind of a therapeutic long drive to the Dead Mall. But the Dead Mall has that great game store and / figure store in there. And they had like a Japanese GameCube with a few games. And it was like $175. Japanese, which should be less expensive. I'm just like, damn, is that, did they overprice that? Like sometimes sometimes I go to these places just to look at what prices are. Fuck online, fuck eBay. Sometimes I just like to go to local spots and see what they're selling stuff for. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 on Dreamcast, they had for $100, which seems to be the going rate, which is crazy, right? I remember when that game was like $40 and it was like, I don't know, I'm paying $40 for a Dreamcast game. And which you look at it now, you're like, damn, it's a good deal. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know, all those fighting games, you know, the fighting games seem to be up there. I think they had Marvel vs. I forget which one, but it was the Japanese version. The cover is really dope, though. So I kind of was like, damn, that cover is fire. I kind of just want it for that. But
if you got Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom
3?
Yeah, 3 for the PS4, it's like $90 to $100.
I do have that. Yeah, because it's the physical one. Yeah. See, that's one I think they made in less numbers physically.
Physical?
Yeah, right.
You can sell it digital.
No, I agree with that. I do agree, and I've always said I have my PS4 library is disgusting. I have like 220 something games, and 170 or something are digital. Remember, I have 2 external hard drives for my PS4, and that's another thing. What the fuck is up with PS4 Pro? Like a PS4 Pro is, and I think because of the shortage on the PS5, maybe it's the closest thing to it. PS4 Pro prices, like even used, are like $400. Like the retail price of it new, which I guess you can't get it new anymore. I'm like, damn, this is expensive. Like a GameStop, anywhere you go, like a PS4 Pro is like $400 pre-owned. I'm like, Jesus, bro. So, I mean, I don't think I'll sell that. But when Gran Turismo 7 comes out on fucking PS5, the racing simulator, I'm putting the PS5 in there, and then I'm probably get rid of my PS4 Pro because what do I do with it? Well, because then I could download everything that's on the PS4 Pro to the 5. I'll probably get an external drive. You know, I still have a disgusting backlog of games. PS4, I don't know what happened. I went extra ham on PS4 Well, I don't know what happened. I bought so many games for it, and I never finished a lot of them. I don't know what happened. I blacked out for a while with PS4, and I went really hard. Every Tuesday, a new game come out. I was like, six. I did stop doing that, but, you know.
What about the new Alien game? I gotta play that.
Oh, for PS5? Yeah, it's not bad. I can't believe you haven't played it yet. I ended up making you play the boxing game, Creed. It was okay. It was yeah. 2K22 is pretty cool. But PS5, it's like, damn, bro, I just need the new games. Just give me the new shit. Like something. Obviously, I'm waiting for Gran Turismo, but I don't know anything new. I just think they fucked up this whole launch and release, and it's like, how long has PS5 been out? It's like, where are the games at? Like, where's well, because they can't produce enough of them. That's the real problem, too. I don't know. Anyway, we got any more topics? Once again, I feel like we're in the Matrix. I don't know where we are. I don't know how long we've been recording.
We got one more. Or a few more. What do you think?
I don't know. Give me one more and we'll decide.
So we got, do you keep packaging for the toys you display?
Not really. If I take them out of the box, you can sure as shit. Like, for instance, this shredder, the box is literally shredded. It's in the corner over there. I generally do not keep if I'm opening it, it's done to me. I guess if I wanted to, I can keep it really crispy and nice and slide it back in if I ever were to resell it. But I do have a shit ton of brand new figures that are going to be going for sale on the site. But those I keep, obviously. Those are in the packaging and they're sold, NIB, new in box, and that's great. But things like this, which is more of a statue than a figure, whatever, I just kind of just take them out and I display them. If I ever do sell them, I'd just be sold as is. But I know, Doyle, you have a shit ton of figures you keep in the box, right? That's your thing. Pokemon shit or something, I don't know.
Well, sometimes I have trinkets that I open.
Well, that's your problem, yeah. You have too many small trinkets. You have like figures that are this big, you have figures that are this big, you have figures that are this big, then you have things that are this big, and you like to display them in your fucking room like all over the fucking place.
Maybe I'll bring them one day.
It looks like a Home Alone fucking booby trap. Your shit. I don't know. Yeah, well, Doyle, listen. I think that people would appreciate you bring one trinket a week over. Sometimes you do. Every once in a while you do, which is fine. I'll display them. I proudly display them. You bring your Pokemon shit. You're a contributor to the program. I'm respectful of that.
Well, you switch from toys to like statues.
Well, the statues just display nicer in there. I really got into the statues because some of them are so incredible. You can get so crazy with these statues. Some of Sideshow collectibles. I mean, some of them go for thousands, and rightfully so. The number one that I really want, right, is the giant X-Men one, the Sentinel, that it keeps showing on my Instagram story. That's 2,200. It's fucking, that thing has got to be this tall. It's got fucking Beast and fucking Rogue and Wolverine. They're hanging off the Sentinel action. And then I come to find out that there's other pieces that go with that. You can make like a whole thing that costs you like $5,000. I'm not going to go that hard, but it isn't. I mean, if I could snap my fingers and have it on this table, I fucking sure as shit would. It's incredible, bro. But these ones, I like these like kind of mid-range ones, right? Where they're a few $100s, they're not thousands. They still display well. They look good. And, there's a couple that I want. There's a Gambit one that I really want. There's that Darth Maul. Not the biggest Star Wars guy, but I love Boba Fett and I love Darth Maul. And the Darth Maul one is just fucking action. It looks so good. It's like 800. It's junky, as we like to say, junky. So I kind of stay away from that only because at this point, I buy shred. I have too much. So I've gone too far. I don't have any place to display it. Granted, I'm about to start really, really finishing up the game room here because it's starting to take shape. Oh. So I'll have some more permanent spots for stuff. Once that racing simulator sat in there, it actually started to make the room a shape, and which is what I was looking for. Because remember, we just had a bunch of stuff stacked up over there. And the issue with that was it just looks like a bunch of games stacked. And my brain was blocked about, it was like, if you're a writer and you get writer's block, it was almost like writer's block, but for setting up the room. I just would walk in there and just go, fuck. Overwhelmed. Where do I put stuff? And we're not even talking about stuff that's stashed in the closet in there. That's where all the real shit, all those big boy games and stuff. Got to get a shelf. I need a bookshelf for the wall just to display the games. So, but the statues, they have their own place, and I think they really add to the aesthetic if you do it right. You don't want to overdo it. There's a fine line. It's a fine line. All right, let's get one more topic, and maybe we'll get out of here.
Well, you got to trim the fat, right?
Trim the fat. That's correct, Doyle.
All right. So what do we got here? We got, All right, so we got Pupi Diaz coming in. Thoughts on Nintendo Direct, or is it still fuck the Switch?
It's still fuck the Switch, but Doyle, I'll give you an opportunity. Was there anything in Nintendo Direct that the people should know about? Because there are Nintendo people that watch and listen to the program. I do respect them. I'm just not a fan of the Switch or Nintendo's direction in the last 8 to 10 years. Is there anything that people need to know, Doyle?
Well, Metroid's coming out very soon, and then they got Metroid's coming out October 7th. You're not gonna play it?
I said the one thing that I have liked is the Metroid release because I do like Metroid. It's still not going to make me buy a Switch, but it should be a good game though. I'm excited for it. It should be pretty fire.
They got a new Kirby 3D.
Okay, I do like Kirby. Shout out Kirby's Air Ride, good game, or Kirby's Dream Land 3, Kirby's Nightmare. You used to refer to me as Kirby when I used to eat pizza because I would just inhale it. Yeah, so you used to refer to me as Kirby.
And then they got the new Super Mario movie.
Oh yeah, with what's his name, Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your boy from Jurassic Park. With the Raptors, right? He used to control the Raptors. Yeah, so you like Chris Pratt, and it'll be a live action Mario movie. Now listen, not excited for it, but I'll let it come out and I'll see what it's like. You know, like the Sonic movie. Everybody hit me up about the Sonic movie. I'm like, that's por la niños. It is. It's not for me, bro. It's not for grown adults. It's not. It's for the kids.
Well, you watch Space Jam.
I was with the girlfriend. I wanted a, cute movie night. We were watching a lot of murder kill shit. It was kind of just, and you know what? Of course, I like OG Space Jam better, but it was a cute movie and it was cool. And I do see for this generation, I see how the little kids react to it because I do understand anywhere from a 4 to 6 to a 10-year-old right now. Like LeBron is Michael Jordan to those kids, and I do respect that. You know what I mean? So. The movie was modernized and it was done well. I mean, the animation and stuff, it was cool. It just didn't have the same vibe for me. Why? Because I'm 37 watching it. It's not really targeted towards me. So I respected it. It was good. Did you watch it or you didn't even watch it?
No.
You're an idiot. So you're just talking all this shit and you didn't even watch the fucking movie.
I'll watch it eventually. It's alright.
Shit is alright. You know what I'm saying? Shit is
alright. And they're adding Nintendo 64 to the Nintendo Online.
For the Switch to download. Yeah. That's cool. No, that I like that, but I have the Nintendo 64. But that is cool because that's the first kind of system that's like, not to say you can't emulate 64 games, but it's easier to emulate like a Game Boy game or 64 is actually, that's cool because it'll be done right by Nintendo. It's first party. It's not going to be glitchy and weird and it'll look good and stuff. So that's cool.
The Switch?
No. No. The only way I'll ever get a Switch is if they up the graphics, battery life's incredible. I like the OLED screen. I need 4K at 60 frames, and I want big boy games on it, and I want them to run properly.
They just added Bluetooth.
It's 2021 going into 2022. I've had Bluetooth since 2010, bro. Like, what are we talking about? So what did they add Bluetooth for? So you can have wireless headphones?
Yeah.
So they didn't have that before.
No.
Now, is that only on the new Switch? Or is it a firmware update you can get?
Yeah, see? They take care of the people.
Yeah, they take care of the people. Yeah. Whatever. I don't like the Switch, bro. It's over.
And then they added Castlevania collection.
Symphony of the Night.
No, they added the Game Boy Advance ones.
Aria of Sorrow. Right? Is that one of the games?
And
that's
Harmony
a good game.
of Dissonance or whatever.
I think my Aria of Sorrow Game Boy Advanced game, I think is a fake. I didn't know. I mean, I got that how many years? It's got to be 10 plus years ago, easily. But I was going through stuff, and I don't know how I even noticed. I think the Konami symbol, it's in the wrong. Every other one on eBay, I'm like, oh, this fucking... Because it's an expensive game. It's like $100 game or some shit. And I'm like, out of all the games I have, because I was super particular about fakes. Now, Game Boy Advance is the most faked ever. I know that with the Pokemon shit. I was at the game store. It wasn't this time. It was the last time I was there. And this kid came in, and he had a good stack of all Pokemon Game Boy stuff. And he went up to the girl, and he's like, yeah, I'd like to sell my stuff. She looked at it for 0.2 seconds, and she was nice about it. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't take I forget how she put it, non-authentic, or the way that she said it was real slick, but she was saying we don't buy fake games. And the kid knew right away. Like, he knew it was fake before he handed it to her, and he was like, oh all right, like, damn. I mean, she looked at this shit for literally just handed it, looked at the top game, and was just like, nah. Because I know the Pokemon shit is rabid. Like, there's fakes everywhere of that shit. So, which is weird because the game inside is the real game. But if it's not the official actual label, then that means it's just a cheap knockoff of it. And
yeah, there was a story you told me about. They were selling like the fake game for like almost the same price as the real shit, right?
I forget what it was, but I vaguely remember telling you that.
Chipmunks, I think, Adventures 2 or something.
No, that was a different game store. But yes, they were selling a Chip 'n Dale 2, which I believe they were selling for $200. But it clearly they had a sticker on it that said not authentic label, but the cart inside was authentic. But it's like, well, you got to take off most of the value of the game. If you don't have a correct label on it, it's over. The value of that cartridge to me is nothing because you're not going to find a real label that's brand new that you're going to be able to put on there. So you always have to know that shit is not authentic. And it's like, as a collector, it's like, that's the point. I don't want none of my shit to be fugazi, bro. I need it to be all legit. So for you to sell that shit at basically collector price, knowing it's like not the real label, is kind of whack. I kind of said something to the guy to him like, bro, you're selling this for this should be $100 at best. I mean, you might as well just rip the thing off. Like if it was no label on it whatsoever, how much would you sell that for? Yes, the inside is real, but I mean, come on. It's funny. I go into all those stores and I'm like, I can make this store so much better. Like attention to detail, that's my gift. I'm a detail freak, bro. And the detail, the people just don't go that extra mile. Never mind, people's customer service and shit is garbage, and I get it because they're just there as a 9-to-5 grind and they don't care. But that's what differentiates businesses, though. It's okay. We'll get there. We're gonna do the online thing, and then we're gonna get to the physical location. It's gonna happen because it's in my head and it's not going anywhere. So it's gonna happen. All right. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people before we exit?
Like, comment, share.
Like, comment, and share. I guess that's what you say every single time. I do appreciate that. We are still working on the merch for the show. That's going to come out around the time that the Shopify site drops. I'll have a section for like merch that we got on the vintage shirts and stuff. I got a couple of ideas and concepts. I just got to work with a couple of people on physically getting them printed. So be patient with that. And also, we're working on some more content. Doyle, we're going to have to set up a thing where we go out. We're going to go vlogging. We're going to go thrifting. You got the camera. We got the new mic on it. We're going to do some cool shit like that, and we're just going to put content out for the people.
And then do like selling content. Like maybe we could sell shit and do content at the same time.
Well, we could use the podcast and the Instagram and stuff to cross promote for what we have for sale, but I don't know about physically making a whole video based on something we're selling. I don't think that's necessary. Just take some high-res pictures, put it up on the website, but we got to do content in between. Like I said, do some road trips, do some thrifting, do some whatever, do some game footage, like something. I don't know. We'll think about it, and we'll be back with some new shit. But yeah, just keep a lookout for that because it's going to be really dope, and I'm excited, kind of remotivated here to do some shit. So until next time, peace.